My favorite feature about these feeding bibs is that you can unsnap the pocket like this so that you're able to tip out any of the food mess before you chuck these in the washing machine. But before I show you how I made these bibs, let's have some bloopers. Don't eat the skin, buddy. Of course you're stuck. This is my last step. Ugh, now I'm all sticky. I've lost my hold. Always getting messy. Cool running. Oh, is it still running? Hi crafty people! Today I'm sharing with you how to make my favorite kind of feeding bib. And I've got Ruben here with me so that he can see how they're used. Ruben here is 8 months old and he's wearing one of these bibs exactly the same as this. And my daughter Alice also uses these too, and she's 2.5 years old and the same bibs fit her as well. Uh-oh. I made this bib using a pattern from Peekaboo Patterns, and if you join their Facebook group, there is an access code there so that you can use the pattern for free, which is what I did. So I'll leave both their website and their Facebook page down in the description box if you would like to get this pattern to make the bib too. Along with the pattern that I just mentioned, you're also going to need some waterproof fabric. So I've used this PUL fabric from Noosa Fabric & Co, which is where I get all my PUL fabric from. And I also have used some cam snaps, which I get from Snaps Australia. So I'll link both of those shops. I'll link both of those shops down below too if you want to check out the fabric or if you want to get yourself a snaps machine. You don't need to have a fancy cam snap machine in order to make this project. You can just use a handheld snap press. That will work just fine as well. These bibs are a really great make if you're a beginner soul because they really are quite easy. And they're a very practical thing for you to have if you have a messy baby, which I guess all babies are messy, so if you have a baby, right? If this is your first time on my channel, then welcome. My name's Marie and this channel is all about motivating mums to make and mend. As I mentioned already, this is my son Ruben. He is 8 months old and he is my youngest of my 4 children. I hope you enjoy this video as you're watching it, and if you do, don't forget to press the like button down below and subscribe to see some of my future videos. But with all of that being said, let's get making.
Mama makes feeding bibs.
Download and print the pattern that is linked in the description box, and then there is a little test square at the top to make sure that your pattern has printed at the right dimensions. So just check to make sure that it is 1 inch in size. Then you're going to tape your pattern piece together and cut around it. The waterproof fabric that I'm using here is a scrap from when I made an art smock. If you're using a directional fabric like I am, you'll need to make sure that you're having the pattern piece up the correct way so that your pictures aren't upside down, and you're going to trace around your pattern piece to make the bib shape ready to cut out. I find PUL fabric is quite a slippery fabric, so tracing out your pattern is a little bit easier than having to fold your fabric in half and then try and cut out, making sure that both sides don't slip around. So I find it better to just trace out the whole shape rather than cutting it out on the fold, and then I use the first bib that I have cut out as my template to then trace around the second one and cut that out the same. We're going to put our 2 bib pieces right sides together, and we're going to clip around the outside so that we can sew it together. I'm using these little wonder clips to clip onto my fabric, or if you don't have wonder clips, you could use just some bobby pins or other sorts of hair clips, or you could use paper clips or whatever you have so that you can attach your 2 bib pieces together. I don't use pins because pins put holes in the plastic of the waterproof fabric, so you will want to use something to clip it together rather than pin. Sew the whole way around the bib, but leave a 5 to 10 centimeter gap so that you're able to turn the bib out the right way when we're finished. I'm using a 1 centimeter seam allowance, and I'm taking particular care when I'm going around the corners. I take it slow sewing the curved edges of the bib, and I put my needle in and pivot the fabric when it's a particularly tight corner to turn. As always, make sure to go forwards and backwards as you start and end your stitching to lock your stitches in place. Clip the seam allowance of your curved seams to help them to sit flat. You can just use straight scissors, but I actually prefer to use my pinking shears because they cut nice little notches, which reduces down your seam allowance, making your bib sit nice and flat when you turn it out the right way. Turn your bib out the right way using the hole in the side of the bib that we left open. And I use a chopstick, or you could use any sort of other blunt, pointy instrument to poke out the edges of your bib so that they are all flat. I use some of my clips to hold the hole shut, and then I'm going to use a contrasting coloured cotton to go all the way around the bib, closing over the hole but also top stitching around the whole edge of the bib. I align the edge of the bib up with the middle of the presser foot, and I align my needle slightly to the left so that it's onto the bib, and that way I know that my top stitching is going to be very close to the edge of the bib. And as I'm going around, I'm continuing to keep the edge of the bib in the very center of the presser foot so that the distance around my bib of my top stitching is always consistent. We're all done with our sewing machine now, and we're going to move on to putting the snaps on. The pattern shows where the upper snap placement and the lower snap placement go, so I'm poking holes in both of those sides on both sides of my bib, so 4 holes. The snaps have a cap side and a socket side, which is the part that clips together. So I'm going to make sure that my upper snaps have a cap on the front and a socket on the back, and my lower snaps have the socket on the front and the cap on the back. That way the pocket will snap together properly once it's all done. I'm using my snap press machine to put those snaps in the correct places, changing out the die to make sure that the upper snaps will be a male snap and the lower snaps will be a female snap, or vice versa, it doesn't matter, just so long as you have one of each to make sure that they clip together once you're done. The cap side of your upper snap is the front of your bib, so you're going to fold the bottom of the front of the bib up and then attach the snaps on the back of your bib to make the pocket. The very last step is to attach the snaps at the top, which will close the bib around the child's neck. Make sure to use a male snap on one side of the bib and a female snap on the other side, and that you're putting the caps and sockets on the correct side to make sure that they clip together without the bib needing to twist over on itself. I'm putting 2 snaps on this side of the bib here to make it adjustable so that I can change the size depending on which of my kids is wearing it. With the snaps in place, our bib is complete, and this is what it looks like completed and being worn by my sweet little son Ruben.
So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed watching our video today as we have made these feeding bibs. If you have a go at making a feeding bib like this, I would love to see a picture of it, so tag me on Instagram at mymum.marie, or if you want to share any of your sewing projects with me, whether it be one from my tutorials or just a project that you have worked on yourself, you can use the hashtag #ShowMySew so that I can see your project and then share it on a future video on my YouTube channel. Elise has shared one of her projects on Instagram using the hashtag #ShowMySew, and she has made some Grow With Me harem pants and little baby sleep gowns, and they look really nice. They've got a lovely floral fabric to them, and I'm sure they would be really comfortable for a little baby. So thanks Elise for sharing your project with me, and again, if you would like your project featured on my channel as well, then don't forget to use the hashtag #ShowMySew when you share your pictures on Instagram or Facebook. If you've enjoyed this video of mine, then don't forget to press the like button down below and subscribe to come back and see some of my future videos. I've linked in the description box a video about how I made some dribble bibs when my daughter Alice was about this age, about 9 or 10 months old. So if you're interested in that video, it'll be linked in the description box, or at the end of this video, 2 of my other videos will be suggested to you that you might like to watch next. So thanks again for coming and watching this video with me, and until next time, go get creative, and I'll see you later. Where is the button? Where is the button?